Alright, hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Yes, in our previous video we had an introduction to Microsoft. Microsoft Excel. Then we said in today's video we shall be discussing the different Microsoft Excel functions and formulas that we can use to manipulate data. So what is a function? What is a formula? A function is an inbuilt formula within the Microsoft Excel application, meaning that a function is predetermined or it is predefined. Then a formula is a user-defined function that you can use to manipulate data. User-defined meaning that you can come up with a given mathematical expression that can be used to manipulate numerical data. Then a function that is inbuilt, it is within the Microsoft application. So we have a given set of data here and we need to create a report. So we have names of different students and then their marks in different subjects. So we need to get the total of their marks per subject, then we get their average, then we rank them, then we comment on the average. Okay, now to get the total, we are looking for total, so that means we need the overall sum of Alice's marks. So what you do when we are carrying out these functions, we always begin with an equal sign. Always, whether it is a formula or a function, the first thing you need to do is put an equal sign. When you put an equal sign, you're telling the application that what is coming next is either a formula or a function. So I put my equal sign. Now remember we said we can use a function or a formula, and we say the function is already predefined, then a formula is what I as a user can use to do what? To manipulate that data. So the first way we are going to do this is using the function, and the function is the inbuilt expression. So the function for getting total is sum. So you just press the equal sign, then you type sum. I think you can see equals sum. Now after pressing sum, you're going to come and highlight the given range of values that you want to submit. So in this particular case, we want to submit all the marks of Alice: biology, math, chemistry, geography, history, and ICT. So we are going to click in biology and then highlight from biology, math. We shall highlight, sorry, let's do that again. We have equals sum, then you tap on the function equals sum, then you're going to highlight from biology up to ICT like that. When you're done, you close the brackets and then you press enter. So the total is 500. Now we have a tool called autofill. So you look at the right bottom corner of this cell. When you see that plus sign coming up, you double click. When you double click, it autofills the formula you've pressed into the first cell into these other cells. So when it does so, it computes the total marks for all these other students, because the cell in the first cell here is containing a formula for calculating the total marks in the different subjects. So that is one way you can do what? You can actually compute for this data. Now if one didn't go that way, we can use what we call a formula, and the formula is user defined. What we have just used is a function which is predefined by the Microsoft application. So we can have this deleted. Now we come here, same procedure, equals. Now instead of typing sum, you're just going to go straight away and open brackets. So you're going to tap the marks of biology, then you press plus shift plus. You're going to press the plus button. Let me use the on-screen keyboard here. You're going to come, press shift and then plus math, press shift plus chemistry, shift plus geography, shift plus history, shift and then plus, and then lastly ICT. So after reaching ICT is our last, then we close brackets. After closing brackets, you press enter. I think you can see that it is giving us the same numerical value. So the function and formula giving us the same numerical value, because with the function we had 500, even with the formula we have 500. So we said after doing so, you come on the right bottom corner of the cell until you see a plus coming up, then you double click so that you can autofill the total into these other cells. So our next task is to compute the average. So average, the way you hear it, average, we are getting mean, or what you call average. So the first step we said we do is equal sign. Now there are two ways again we can calculate average. We can use the formula, which is user defined, and then the function, which is application design. It is inbuilt within the application. So let me first use the formula, which is user defined. So now I'm getting average. I already have my total. Remember, when you're getting average, you sum up the total items and then you divide by the number of items. But I already have the sum of the total items, so I just open brackets. That is a very essential step. Open brackets and then you press on the total. Press on the total, then you use slash. Now we have two slashes. We have the backward slash and then the forward slash, but we're interested in the forward slash. That is what represents division. Then how many items are there? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 6 items. So then we put a 6 and then we close brackets and then we press enter. So we can see that our average has been calculated. Then we proceed to autofill, just like that. I think you can see that. So that is one way. Then we can come and delete this, and then you try to use another way. Okay, can try. So you come here to average. Now we are going to use a function. You're going to use a function equals, then you're going to type average equals average. I think you can see here average, then it opens brackets. So you're getting average of what? You're getting average, so you can either use this, the highlight of these values. Now here, if you want to use sum, the total value here, you use the user defined formula. But here for average, we're going to use this. You're going to come and highlight from B2 up to G2, which has our last subject value. Then after that, you close brackets and then you press enter. I think you can see that we are getting the same numerical value. Then after doing that, you press in that cell that has the numerical value and then you look for that plus sign in the right bottom corner, you double click, and then you should be able to come up with your values. Now we can edit these values if you don't want those decimal places, because remember we are coming up with a report card and we may not be interested in these decimal places. That is something very simple. So you come here where you're seeing number, click on that arrow, click on that arrow. Now we have these numbers here. This is general. Now just a minute. Alright, so if you're not interested in these decimal places, you just come and highlight these values, and then you come to number. Where you see number, there's like a small arrow on the right bottom corner. Tap on that arrow, and then you have this dialog box coming up. Then you're going to scroll down to custom. Click on custom, then you look for where 0 is. You tap on 0 and then you press OK. It should be able to give you values without decimal places. So that is for our average. Then ranking. So we are going to rank. Now with ranking, we do not have formulas. I have not heard of a user-defined formula that can rank. However, we have an inbuilt function that can help us with that action. So the first step, as always, is to put equal signs. I'm going to place my cursor there, press equal signs. Then after pressing equal signs, you're going to type rank equals rank. It is just here, equals rank equals rank. So we are using equals rank. Now what are we ranking? What are we basing on to rank? Now we are going to rank basing on the average. We are going to rank these students basing on their average. So after opening brackets, the next step is to tap in the cell that you're going to base on to rank. So we are basing on average, so you're going to come and tap in the first cell of under average, that is 83. So you tap in that value, then you put a comma. Then the reference, so the reference is from this first cell up to the last cell. So highlight from, that is from I2 up to I11. Is that okay? Then we are going to use what we call absolute cell referencing, because we don't want this range to change, because it is the range within which we are using to rank and we don't want it to change. So we are going to fix it. How do we fix it? We fix it by putting dollar signs. How do you put dollar signs? You come on your keyboard and you press F4. I think you can see that it has been automatically fixed by pressing dollar signs. Then after doing that, you press comma, and then the order of ranking, descending is from lowest to highest. Then descending is from highest to lowest, ascending is from lowest to highest. So how do you want to rank, descending or ascending? So that is up to you. So I can choose descending, and then after doing so, close brackets, and then you press enter. Then after doing this, you autofill. Is that okay? So I think you can see that our students have been ranked. The highest average we have is 93 and is taking up position 1. The second best average is 91 and is taking up position 2. Then our next is commenting. So for commenting, we are going to use the if function. So we are going to press equal sign, That is our first step. Always press the equal sign, first highlight, activate the cell, press equal sign. Then when you press equal sign, we are using the if function. So you type if. The if function is here. Now we are going to use the average to comment. So equals if, so we are basing on the average. Yes, so when you open brackets, what comes immediately is the logical test. So our logical test is going to be based on average. So if my average is, say, maybe less than, let us set a pass mark of maybe 60, 65, okay, 60. If the average, so you tap in the first cell of average, if the average is less than what, less than 60, then you put a comma, then you open quotes. What do you want to do? That is the value if true. If that value is less than 60, then this person is going to be advised to do what? To repeat. That is the comment. Now repeat, then you close the quotes, then you put a comma, and then you type if again. You type if again, and then you open brackets. We are still basing on average under logical test. If the average, tap on the average, if the average is equal to 60, if the average is equal to, if the average is equal to 60, put a comma, that is promoted, and probation, then comma, then you put another if. Now if the value under average, tap on average, is greater than, if it is greater than 60, put a comma, open quotes, so it is above average, so that should be promoted, then you close quotes. Now the next thing is to close brackets, but before you close brackets, you need to put into consideration how many ifs have you used. I've used one if, two ifs, and then three ifs. That means you're going to close brackets how many times? 3 times. So you come and close first time, second time, third time, just like that. When you're done, you press enter. Okay, so when you press enter, you can see that it has returned the comment promoted. So what you do, you look for the plus, and then you auto fill. So we have, so we said above 60, those are promoted. So we can see that all those above 60 are promoted. Then those who are less than 60, it was one person 57, which was advised to repeat. So we say those who have an average of 60 were promoted on probation. However, we don't have anyone with an average of 60. So we can see that these people have been promoted, and then only one person to repeat. So maybe to illustrate that one of promoting on probation, let us try to comment again. So here, let me first try to increase the column width. So let us try to comment again, but this time we are going to use the total. I'm going to use total. So we said we put equal signs, put equal signs, then you press equals if open brackets. So the logical test we are using total now. If total is less than, total is less than 500, then that person put a comma, open quotes, less than 500, that is repeat, close quotes, comma, put another if, open brackets. If the total is equal to, if the total is equal to 500, total is equal to 500, then this person should be promoted on probation. Promoted on probation. Then you close quotes, then put another comma, and then you put if again, open brackets. Now this time if it is greater than 500, it's to greater than 500, what should we comment? Open quotes, this person should be promoted, then you close quotes. So we said you look at how many ifs have you used. I've used 1, 2, 3 ifs, so meaning I close the bracket 3 times. 1, 2, 3. After doing that, you press enter. So you can see that this person having a total of 500 is promoted on probation. So we can come and try to autofill. So we have promoted on probation, repeat. So the one on repeat must be having a total of less than 500, and that is it. So basically that was today's video, looking at different Excel formulas, and I hope you've managed to pick a thing or two. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Stay tuned for my next video. I'll be dropping it very soon.